Hey people, it is Friday, April the 29th, and the time is 11:13 in the morning, and it's currently 10 degrees Celsius. And I'm on Yonge Street here, just approaching Shuter, and I can see there's a huge lineup here waiting around the corner from Massey Hall. And it looks like people have been camped out here all night. And the reason why they've been camped out here is because there's a show by Olivia Rodrigo, which is going to be taking place here today, I believe. And obviously she's a very popular pop star. If people are willing to camp out on a very chilly overnight with full-on tents in some cases here, as you can see.
So you ask them at the spot, you come up to her and you say, "Excuse me, what do you guys do off the back of the
And they've got lots of supplies and snacks. So wow, that's really something. Haven't seen something like that in, well, a few years at least. Here's the famous Massey Hall. So I'm going to walk up to Dundas Street, but then I'm going to check out a very busy part of the city in terms of new construction. There's a number of new buildings going up, all in close proximity to one another. And I thought we'd take a little walk through that area. And the sun is out. There's hardly a cloud in the sky. We had similar weather yesterday, but today is a little bit warmer. I think yesterday topped out at around 9 degrees, and today we might get up into the mid-teens. And I see they've got some new signage up here for the upcoming show here at the Edmund Rivers Theatre. The new production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. This will be the first new show here at the theatre in several years as well. Seems to be a theme, having things happening for the first time in several years. I wonder why that could be. There's Dundas Square just over that way. Now we're heading east on Dundas Street East. Man, what do we have here? It looks like they're taking away this shelter. Suppose I have to walk around. Guess it needed replacing, perhaps. Some of the shelters take quite a beating over the years. So now I'm going to sort of zigzag through this area where there are multiple construction projects almost lined up. So we have this one here, a 52-story condo. It looks like to be about halfway up right now. This is Dalhousie Street. And right next door, or almost right next door, there's another tower that will be rising here. This one won't be quite as tall. I think it'll be in the 40-some story range. The crane just went up not all that long ago. There you can see the financial district looming behind. And this black tower is fairly new as well. And it's quite nice. I like the lack of balconies. It has a little bit of that Toronto Dominion Centre aesthetic to it. And that's quite the patriotic crane if you're an American. And just up ahead you can see more cranes, and off in the distance a couple of towers rising. Those are down by the lakefront. So this is Shuter Street. I think about 3 separate towers are rising on this site, the tallest of which would be 50 stories, and that's the one fronting directly onto Queen Street, which is up ahead. And these ones back here will be a bit shorter. Not exactly sure how tall, maybe in the 25 to 30 story range. That's just a guess. But 50 stories fronting on Queen Street East in this neighborhood will seem extremely tall. And this development will also feature a pretty neat commercial courtyard in between the buildings, allowing people to walk through the development and have access to new stores and restaurants. Here you can see a rendering of the tallest tower here, the 50-story tower. And here you can see a rendering of the full project. There's the 50-story tower and the two shorter towers behind it. So this end of Queen Street is coming out of a long, decades-long state of sort of doldrums. It's been kind of a neglected part of downtown. And right here on this corner, another tower is going to rise. They just recently demolished a building here. And site prep is underway. And just up ahead, on the corner of Queen and Church, on the other side of this tower, another tall tower will be rising, which will also be in the 50-story range. So now we're on Mutual Street heading north. And right up ahead is yet another tower. That one is the Garden District condos. And that one will be in the 30-story range. see a rendering of this building. Looks to be maybe a little over 30 stories, maybe 32. And this is named after the neighborhood we're in, the Garden District. And now we're crossing Shuter Street again. And just like that, we've come upon another building under construction. This will also be a tall tower. I think this one will also be in the 30-some story range. And this one was just recently completed. There's a look north up Mutual Street. I want to go over to Jarvis now. I'm wondering if I can cut through here. Let's give it a shot. I've never walked through here before, so we'll have to find out. And it looks like I can't go through here. Well, I tried, right? Sometimes you just gotta take a chance and see what will lead you where you want to go, but it doesn't always lead you there. Oh, and here's a love robot. Okay, now I can definitely cut through here. Yeah? Thanks. Now I'm about to emerge onto Jarvis Street. And that large vacant lot across the street was recently the site of a old hotel called the Grand. And it was a former office building that was converted into a hotel. And it was demolished to make way for a new development, which will rise here, consisting of some, you guessed it, tall residential towers. And it took them a good year and a half or more to demolish the Grand because it was almost like a solid concrete bunker of a building, 17 stories. It used to be the former RCMP office, I believe, Royal Canadian Mounted Police office building. But just up ahead there, you can see another building rising. And that will be a hotel, actually. Since we're losing a hotel here with the demolition of the Grand, another hotel was rising just up the street, and that will also be over 30 stories. And it will be a rather oddball looking building. If you look at the renders, and it will be a Hyatt hotel, I believe. So just in this small, maybe 4 square block area, there are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 major building projects. So now we're heading north on Jarvis. And suddenly a lot quieter here without the constant construction noise. Well, you don't have to go very far before we come across another construction project. As you can see across the street, that crane was recently erected. And that will also be a tall residential tower in the 40-story range. And here's a Rabba. This is the closest Rabba location to my building. My street is just a couple of blocks to the east of here. So I think what I'll do is I'll walk up to Carlton Street and then I'll head west a couple of blocks And that will bring me to the Loblaw store at the corner of Church and Carlton. Let's look down Gerrard Street. And these old houses are currently in rough shape, but this lot will be redeveloped also with a new tower, which I believe will also be in the 30-some story range. And across the street is Allen Gardens. And just like that, another tower is on the rise here. It's just starting to grow upwards now from its underground parking levels. And I believe this will be around 35 stories. Incorporate this old house, or what used to be a house anyway, which was almost destroyed by fire a couple of times. So here's Carlton Street. So now we're heading west. Let's look up Mutual Street. And here we are, Loblaws Church in Carlton. So I'm going to start wrapping up this video. You enjoyed the walk, weaving to and fro through a very busy part of the city, with at least 8 new towers, I think, are currently under construction in that small area I walked through, with 2 more in site prep, and 1 proposed tower that hadn't yet begun construction. In any case, that whole area will look radically different in a few years' time. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of Toronto's construction boom. It's quite mind-boggling, really. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal and via my merch store. And you can also find me on Instagram under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.